What's going on, people? It's your boy B Yaks, and welcome to another episode of Flight on the Wall Perspective.
Hi everyone, welcome back. It's your girl Sharon, you're joining us. We're in another location, but we're outside. We're taking advantage of this glorious weather. So hope you're going to enjoy this one.
So, first thing is first, RIP to those young girls who got massacred in that tragic attack in Southport. And what looks like off the back of that, now there are widespread riots all across the country. So we're seeing obviously chaos in Southport. Police van was set on fire. Saw a black person who looked like he was innocent, getting intimidated, and so I think somebody punched him or slapped him or something like that, and he had to turn the other way. Now we're seeing Muslim people also being subjected to violence, and mosques as well are getting defaced. So right now the country looks like it's out of control. But why I say that is because this energy has been brewing of division from people like politicians like Nigel Farage and figureheads like far-right activists like Tommy Robinson. So yeah, so it's just like for me that they've been preparing us for what's to come, and it seems that there's going to be this gigantic race war in the United Kingdom. Like when you just go on your phone, especially my algorithm now, it's flooding me with all this content, and you're seeing people attacking police, police splitting up groups of people from fighting each other, far right people against anti-fascist groups. It's just anarchy out there.
Do you know what? I actually hope that this is manageable. Obviously, of course it is. We've got a great police force, not great, but great structure of a police force in that sense where, like, when civil unrest or things like this nature take hold of the country, they're very able to manage it. But like, this needs to kind of like, we need to just not lose sight of why this started in the first place. It's those three young girls who lost their lives tragically in Southport. The young black boy um, who's been charged with the murder will be held accountable for it, and obviously seek the medical help that he needs as well, because you can't be well to do such a thing. But like, yeah, I feel like sometimes with these riots, people just lose their minds, and everyone's just looting and taking advantage of it, and it's getting further and further away from actually the real point at hand. When people are taking advantage of that, and it goes so far from what the whole point was, it's almost as if we forget to address what the actual issue is at the beginning. Do you see what I mean? Like, I just don't want us to do that again. We've had riots before in the UK. We've had them for specific reasons, and all we ever remember is the riots, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I think. Well, you remember the riots,
Yeah.
which I participated in. Obviously, that's back then. I'm on to bigger and better things now. And reminds me of the BLM protests in central London. And in hindsight, I was just thinking the media have played such a pivotal part in just dividing people and just divide and conquer, basically. And this is always the end goal. This is always the end goal. But what's happening is racist, bigoted people are scapegoating black people, people of ethnic minorities, and now using this as an opportunity to carry out racially motivated violence. And that is the problem. That is the problem with what we've got to call out. I'm not walking around paranoid about white people and people who might not like black people, because that's not really a reflection of society.
And that's not the reality. That's not actually the reality of what's happening right now. There's like, that's an extreme. All of these riots are an extreme aspect of what's going on. They're polarized viewpoints of what's going on. We're not afraid to walk around London. I'm not afraid to be attacked. But if this continues, there's going to be problems. essentially, and we don't want it to get to that. It doesn't have to be like that. These three girls lost their lives. Let's, you know, talk about this and address these issues productively, constructively, and with like actual systematic like ways to solve this issue, as opposed to rioting and looting and just all you're just seeing these silly videos of people fighting and screaming. What's the point? What's the point? Is this what Tommy Robinson is trying to? Is this what he's encouraging? Is this what he wants?
So he said he's unifying people. Obviously, in his march the other day in Trafalgar Square, obviously thousands of people turned up for it, and he was marching with them. You know, he got his camera out, looking all smug. I'm just like, this guy is doing a number on people. Tommy Robinson is a narcissist. He's doing this all for his ego, but playing on your fears, playing on your fears. When after the protest finishes, he's just gonna get on a plane and just go back to it.
Having a holiday.
Do you understand? You know, and I saw a clip of a small business owner. I can't remember. I think it was in Southport actually, and she was saying, "This has achieved nothing. You know, this has just caused more anarchy in the local community, and you have people who are obviously waiting for these things to occur so that they can run riot and run amok in society." And this is when innocent people start getting caught up in the middle of it. Even innocent people start getting hurt. Local businesses start begin to get affected by this. You know, it was a white English lady, and she was like, bollocks. Like, all this was an excuse for people just to wreak havoc and attack the police. And the next day, they can't go anywhere because everything's been burnt down, things have been smashed up, people don't want to come outside, you know. So, okay, what's the end goal of this? Is what I want to know. What is the end goal with all of this? Because we're hearing this rhetoric from certain people. Oh, we're losing our country. We live in a white majority country. There's people in this country who grow up in areas where they don't see no people of color, very little diversity. And then again, this is so basically this is not a real representation of the average English person. It's just not. You know, this is a loud minority of people. You know, there's nothing wrong with being patriotic. You know, but your patriotism shouldn't hurt people.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
We've got to talk about the blame game. Oh, it's Keir Starmer who's been in power for 2 minutes. Oh, it's the immigration. Oh, it's the politicians. Like, where are we gonna go with just blaming people and not looking in the mirror and see if you want to affect change locally on a local level. You know, because this is political. You know what I mean? You know, so Tommy Robinson's not offering no policies. He's not offering no manifestos. He's giving you a buzz for a certain amount of time, and then that buzz goes. You know, so it just doesn't. It just does not add up. In Football Factory, there's a scene that really stands out for me. It's Danny Dyer, Tommy in the film, who's walking along the graveyard with a dad who fought in World War II. He was a World War II hero, and he ended up marrying a Holocaust survivor. And in the film, she passed away and was obviously grieving and struggling with her demise. And so he's with Tommy, Danny Dyer, walking along the graveyard, and it was like, your mates are flipping a disgrace, basically. I'm paraphrasing. It was like, we did not fight for this, you know. And they're both patriotic people who really have the same views, but go about it in a different way. You know, Tommy's friends in that film, his granddad looked at them like the scum of the earth. You know, so yeah, it's important, like for me to make an analogy, you know, around a film like that, you know. So that's for me that's what stood out in the film, and I think it speaks to, you know, a lot of people in this country with what's going on right now. So just think about that. Furthermore, go watch that film again, and you'll see what I'm saying. So let's not play dumb here, you know. Let's not play stupid. And the problem is with ignorance is everybody thinks they aren't. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? It would be nice to see if there was some kind of constructive plans in place, um, because we can't stay in a state of rioting and marching constantly. You know, there are other things as well that I think are at the helm of all of this. I think there's a lot of frustration individually with people. I think people are like starting to understand and feel the pressure of living outside of the EU, the cost of living, energy costs as well, they're skyrocketing. And it's like, I think there's a culmination of all of this frustration that's been put into this. And yeah, I understand when civil unrest gets to this point that there are loads of things that people have on their minds, but like, this is not going to do anyone any good, you know? There's so many other things that are at play here. So we just need to take that into consideration and make sure that we're aware of that, you know?
And the funny thing about, in closing, the funny thing about this is, I'm sure all those patriots that are out there attacking people of color, attacking mosques, I'm sure they all like an Indian takeaway. I'm sure they all love a Chinese takeaway. I'm sure they all love Caribbean takeaway, and the list goes on. So it's just, ignorance is bliss, you know. So if you're out there hurting innocent people, you are just racist, and it's as simple as that. You are really no better than the boy who carried out that horrific attack on those girls. It's as simple as that. He might have been racist as well. Yeah. So if you're not racist, then all types of violence against anybody is wrong. So I'll leave it at that. You know, it's a boy BX. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure we're gonna have a bit of stick in the comments for this. But look, we've got to have the uncomfortable conversations. We're all coexisting in this world, in this society.
Peace.